Hello, this is Robert from The Cure, and I'm in The Hang, so come along and see me. The actual process for me of making Bloodflowers is the first time in 10 years I've done something that's made me feel completely different about what I do. As before we made the record, I was pretty disillusioned with the band, full stop, and my own role in it, and I felt that we'd probably come to the end of the natural life of the band. I wanted to go out with a bang. Having made it and realised that we can make really good music when we put our minds to it, it's made me want to make another one. I've spent much more of my time with The Cure not being successful than being successful, and I think I've had enough, of a taste of success to realise that it isn't as great as people think it is. It can buy you a lot of freedom, but it curtails an awful lot of freedom in other parts of your life. When I'm not inwardly looking, I'm not really prone to putting pen to paper. It's as simple as that. It gives a very, trying to know someone, I think, through song words. It was like people who think they know who I am because they've read the lyrics are wide of the mark, because there's only a small part of me goes into the songs. The bigger part of me that is content a lot of the time and very happy to with my life doesn't write songs about it. That part of me has no urge to create. The songs that mean the most to me on that kind of level, on an emotional level, are very rarely the ones that are singles. They're very rarely the ones that are commercially successful. But I don't know really, because as albums, I think of what The Cure does as, even though we're kind of known for doing videos and singles through a certain part of our career, I still think of us as an albums band. I don't think of us as a singles band. And some of the albums, like the Wish album's a good example. It had Friday I'm in Love, which became like a big radio hit, but it was probably one of my least favourite songs on the record, but was there because I wanted some light and shade on the record, and I didn't think this is going to be like a radio hit. I sort of did because it had Friday in it. I thought they'll play this on a Friday. It's not that hard to fathom, but the big songs like End and Open and Trust were my favourite songs and still are. They're the ones that I think of, that we'll still play on stage. We're not going to play this Friday I'm in Love on stage tonight. Sometimes I have found it very difficult to do what I do. But I've really had an urge to make it work and a determination to make it work in the face of other people's apathy a lot of the time, particularly in the early days. And I think it's just that. It is easy to become discouraged when you feel like no one really gets what you're doing. There are certain things we've done which are incredibly dated, particularly going back to some of the 80s stuff we did. Because of production values and stuff generally, that things sound like they were done at a particular time. Although we did shy away from using, the classic kind of 80s synth sounds, apart from this small period that I alluded to earlier, where I think we sounded very, very 80s. The rest of the time, they were just sounds that I thought worked together, and in some ways the albums have stood the test of time because they didn't kind of kowtow to any notion of what was happening at the time. I think that, I don't know, I'm attracted to people who have a sense of style rather than think they're fashionable. And I would like The Cure to be a stylish band rather than a fashionable one. I don't really envy people who are starting out now because, now I can't really lie in interviews anymore. And one of the pleasures of doing interviews is spinning a different story in every country I went to. And now, the Japanese people will be quoting me something I said in a French newspaper. It's really horrible. And everyone knows what you're doing all the time. There's daily updates and every Cure fan site on the internet, so it's quite scary. It's helpful for me to remember what I've done, but it makes it very difficult for you to do anything wrong. Even if I'm sick on someone remotely famous, it's all over the internet. I think we've over the years we've made enough good records to warrant more than a one-line entry in an encyclopedia of rock, anyway. But really, I've always thought of us as alternative in the kind of the pure sense of it when it first started, that we just offer an alternative. I never wanted The Cure to, I never had dreams of breaking down the establishment and replacing the old order with the new. I think it's ludicrous to believe that can happen.